8:02, just throwing together a bunch of last-minute graphics because, of course, the Hurricane Center seemingly wanted to wait until right at 8 a.m. to put out their tropical weather outlook, which means if I want the latest information for you, I get to wait. So that means you get to wait. Anyway, I hope you're having a great start to the day. Absolutely lovely stuff. Absolutely lovely stuff outside. Let's look at our tower cam network. This is over at the Kennedy Space Center. Things are looking A-OK. First warning, live Doppler radar showing some rains off of either shoreline. But otherwise, it's a pretty nice, quiet start to the day. Let's take a look at temperatures, shall we? 75 degrees in the Villages. It's about 78 in Orlando, 77 degrees for us in Daytona Beach, and 80 already. It's already 80 degrees in Melbourne. Gross. So where do we go from here? Let's take a look, shall we? We're up to about 93 degrees this afternoon with a 40% coverage of showers and thunder showers, and those storms will continue for us. Storms around and then gradually tapering off little bit by little bit, 7, 8, 9 o'clock or so. So it's really kind of going to be a bit of a quieter day in terms of our local forecast. Let's take a look at Futurecast and zero in on that. If I spell it correctly as I type it. All right, there we go. So here's Futurecast, and this morning, 10, 11, 12 o'clock, we are still looking good, okay? Love that for us, right? But if you live out west, you're in luck. 1, 2, 3 o'clock, storms around the metro. 4, 5, 6 o'clock, storms moving out west. And then 7, 8, 9 o'clock, things continuing to fade and move out west. So today's highest coverage of rainfall is going to be in our western areas from about the Orlando metro off to the west, which those are the areas, if I'm honest, those are the areas that need the rainfall the most. So there's that. Certainly could use that. I'll take it. I'll take it. Yeah. So with that, I say good morning to you. How are you? Rise and shine, everybody. Frank, good morning to you. Connie, David, good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's having a great start to your morning. It's a weekend. It's a Saturday. Mike, Debbie, rise and shine, everybody. Not only is it a weekend, but it's a lovely weekend. Just not this far west. Could get it, but yeah, maybe not. Yukon, we can take a day off of rain in Melbourne. Yeah, that works for me. Karen down in Kissimmee, good morning to you. Rise and shine. Oh no, I'm almost done with my coffee. What am I going to do today? This is a problem. Jody, go Knights, charge on. Love it. Good morning, everybody. All right, so that's kind of where we're at in terms of the forecast today. Now, to get into some more specifics, heading out to the attractions, if you're heading out to Universal Studios, for example, happy to say it really does look like a nice day to do so. Hot sunshine, just keep hydrated if you can. 89 by lunchtime, 91 degrees by 5 p.m. If you're wanting to head into the backyard swimming pool, I'm giving it a good day. Yeah. We've got some storms around, but that shouldn't play in too much. Now, when we look to the weekend, one thing I want to point out is that today gets the green check mark, just because I think we're going to have more storms in the forecast tomorrow. So let's enjoy what we've got today and just kind of know that tomorrow could get a little stormier in the afternoon. That's okay. Listen, it's summer in Central Florida, for goodness sake. This is just the way it goes. You're going to get some days stormier than others. That's all. That's all. I'm going on the Dora Queen tonight for a sunset cruise. Hopefully the rain stays always, but the clouds give us a sunset. That would work for me. That sounds really nice. Doing some film on a movie this afternoon. There you go. Very fun. The rain is helping the trees, plants, flowers, and critters. It is indeed. It is indeed. When you have a pool, isn't every day a good day? I would agree with that, but I'm doing the forecast, the weather forecasting. So I have to be subjective to that. But of course, like if you were to go in right now, there's no rain, so you're totally good to go. Yeah. Now that said, we know that the rain chances are rising, so there's that to deal with. If you're heading out, by the way, to the water parks, kind of a place that I'd like to go to myself today. I don't know what we're doing later today, but there you go. Heading out to Typhoon Lagoon, open until 8 p.m. Looks like it would be a really fun day to get in and go for a swim. Yeah. Reese says, here in New York City, love your weather outlooks and reports with forecasting. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Um, love that. God makes rain, rain makes whiskey. So does that mean God makes whiskey? Is that the inference here? I just want to make sure I understand where we're going with that, Taylor. Julian says, I'm going today. Very cool. Yukon says you can swim in a pool in the rain as long as there's no thunder and lightning. Correct. Or, my kids, my favorite is when the kids are like, I don't want to get wet. What? I don't want to get wet. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Sharon says, last week with the grandkids before they go home to Oregon next Saturday, do we remain out of harm's way with the tropics? We do. We're definitely going to be talking tropics in just a couple of moments' time. Cassandra, California is bracing for a hurricane. Yep, we're going to be talking tropics. Let me pop up the 7-day forecast. That way we can finish up local. If anybody has any additional questions, comments, concerns about local, let's do it, and then we can dive into the tropics. Okay, I want to make sure we're taken care of there. If you believe in the magic sky daddy, then yes, he does. The magic. I don't know that I've ever heard him called the magic sky daddy. That's pretty funny. Good morning to you, Velisa. Julian, yes, we have Invest 90. Yes, we'll talk tropics in just a moment. I want to make sure everybody's questions about the local forecast are handled before we get to the tropics. Summer's asking, rain this afternoon. Coverage is a little lower. It's at 40%, so it's there. But yeah. Now, looking ahead to tomorrow, those rain chances do go up, so plan accordingly. Local summer weather pattern with a tropical wave coming through. Yes, that's correct. Summer weather pattern with the tropical wave south of us, so it's actually starving our moisture just a little bit. Yeah, so basically what happens is there's that wave. And I would say that really tomorrow is when our rain chances rise from it. But there's a tropical wave moving toward the peninsula, and you can already see its impacts just by looking here at the satellite and the radar. Look at the bottom right corner of your screen. You can see that moisture increasing, right? More and more of that moisture kind of showing up. So that's a prime example of a tropical wave in South Florida. It's going to move in, and for us, it's going to kind of grab think of it, area of low pressure. So it's going to act like a shower drain and just drain all that moisture away from us. That's essentially atmospherically what's happening. Yeah. All right. Taylor says, I don't think anyone cares for local at the moment. About local for the most part at the moment. I mean, people, I gotta believe people do. I gotta believe it. Maybe they don't. All right. Is the high heat index done for the week? Temperatures going into next week are going to start to climb just a little bit. So there's that, all right? And you'll see it on the 7-day forecast with the lowered rain chances. Hold on. That. Sometimes the 7-day gets just goofy. Lowered rain chances, rising temperatures for this upcoming week. But for today, for tomorrow, it's kind of a little drier today, stormier for us tomorrow. CJ says, I care about local. See, people care. People care about everything. All right. So yeah, it's not a terrible temperature climb, but it's definitely a temperature climb. All right. Okay. Enough about local. If you missed local, just rewind. We get sarcastic every now and then. Okay. All right. Let's talk about the tropics, shall we? There are 4 areas to monitor in the open waters of the Atlantic. 4 areas to monitor. A system that's moving through South Florida today that eventually gets into the Gulf, a system that's moving into the Caribbean, a system that's in the central Atlantic, and a system that is off the coast of Africa. So let's go one by one, okay? Let's start with the one closest to us. It's a little area of low pressure. And again, it's actually going to bring up South Florida's rain chances, but for us, it lowers our rain chance just a little bit. Now, here's the latest numbers from the Hurricane Center. Over the next 2 days' time, not expecting this. What the models are really saying is, right as it's making landfall on either Texas or Mexico, right as it's making landfall, there is a chance of tropical development. It's going to be slow, if at all. Hurricane Center giving it a 50% likelihood of getting going over the next 7 days' time. And I could just tell you, in glancing at the models this morning, it's right as it's making its way ashore. Either way, South Florida gets rain, and then South Texas / Mexico get rain. So that's the first one, okay? Medium chance of development there. Second wave, let's go, and just for perspective, let's give our situational awareness. That's South America on the bottom of the screen. What you're looking at, the center of the screen, those islands, that's the Antilles. This is newly tagged Invest 90. All it means is that we're running computer models on it. Invest 90 now working through the Caribbean has a low-end 20% chance of development over the next 2 days' time, but a medium 40% chance of development over the next 7 days' time. Okay. Now, you know what I didn't do? What is that? That's Tropical D. Hold on a second. I didn't make models for it. Let me just, while we're here, hold on. But what we're looking at is Hilary. I know. I'm going to change that. Hold on a second. We'll get there. We'll get there. Spaghetti plot. Okay. So we don't have, actually, we should have some of the early models. Hold on a second. Hold on. Tropical models. Hold on. Burris, you're boring us. I know. This is why it's not TV, because if I need to make some sausage, I need to make some sausage. There and there. Okay. All right. So obviously the models, as you can see, and it says it's Invest 99. Ignore that. That's Invest 90. I know. It's annoying. I'll just put the generic banner on for now. Okay. All right. So what you're seeing is the computer models. We're just starting to run them. But essentially, there's so much to track that they're not set in stone. Okay. So anyway, so there's that. That has a medium likelihood of developing as it works into the Caribbean. And then eventually it looks like it'll probably try to recurve. Behind that is Invest 99, center of your screen, not really doing much. A low-end 30% chance of development. And then there's Invest 98, which has a high 70% chance of development. And then behind Invest 98, there's another decent wave coming off the coast of Africa. So all said, there's a lot of stuff to track in the open waters of the Atlantic. But where is all this going to go, right? I mean, you're not here just to listen to me go over weather graphics. You're here for an analyzation, at least I would think as much. So we'll do this. And let's look at the computer models. All right, so running through, and right there you've got one in the Caribbean, one just outside of the Caribbean, one in the Central Atlantic. Then there's another one. The models are definitely trying to show activity, like without a doubt. Something off the coast of the United States, another thing off in the open Atlantic, and look at that, another one developing out near the Cabo Verde Islands. So absolutely, and that one's looking to be beefy. But of course, when they get beefy that far to the east, they like to recurve. So GFS is showing a bunch of stuff through early September, but what it's not showing is anything that is of a genuine bother to us, okay? So that's the GFS. Let's switch over to the Euro. And let's see what it's got doing. Storm in the Atlantic, storm in the Caribbean, weak thing moving over towards South Texas, another storm developing in the Atlantic. Nothing too terribly organized. Another little CAG coming up over the Bay of Campeche. Drink. All right. I mean, look at that. This is like crazy. one of the Bay, two in the Central Atlantic, three, four. Like what are we looking at here? Lots of vorticity there, right? Lots of little areas of low pressure. And then if we extend this beyond, a little something off that CAG out there in the Central Gulf. And then more like if there's one thing that I'm seeing just looking at all the models, it's that things are absolutely going bonkers. Like without a doubt, the computer models are like, yep, it's time to get paid. So, there's stuff to track. Do you have enough coffee left to drink? I don't. Like, there's some here, not a ton. Just have to make do with what we got. Okay. All right. So let's switch over to ensembles. We'll start with the GFS ensemble. We'll go to the beginning. And if you're not familiar with what an ensemble is, and I'm going to switch to the Caribbean view just to give us a close look. If you're not familiar with what an ensemble is, it looks at 50 different flavors of the model. It's a 50 different simulation. Okay. So watch through time. You've got the bottom of the screen there, right where it says forecast high 91. You've got a bunch of ensemble members showing that little piece of energy moving into the Caribbean as an area of low pressure. Watch the Gulf, though. This is Monday. Still no ensemble members showing stuff in the Gulf. And even still, like right there, like 3 ensembles are showing something trying to develop in the Gulf, right? So not much ensemble development. Whereas down in the Caribbean Sea, there's definitely more ensemble support. All right, and then we kind of start to see, let me switch over to this view, like you start to see some ensemble support for pressures lowering in the Caribbean and east of us. This is the GFS, and it's kind of got 2 camps, at least on around the 29th. You've got stuff east of us, or you've got stuff in the Gulf. But there's definitely this indication that the next week to 2 weeks' time, there's going to be something around the southeastern United States. So we have to watch that. And then after that, you just see the ensembles lighting up. Nothing to be worried about, but definitely stuff to track. Okay, so that's the GFS. Let's switch over to the European, which has twice the number of ensemble members. All right. There's all those ensembles together, right where it says forecast high 91 at the bottom of the screen, showing that Caribbean thing. And then look at that. There's a bunch of ensemble members showing something around either South Texas or Louisiana. All right, let me switch over to give another view. And you can see that the ensembles there. Now we start to get some stronger ensemble signals. So this is the 24th. That's the 25th. It looks like the vast majority of the European ensembles want to do that, take that Caribbean system and keep it east of us. Now, it does fit into the timeline for the Caribbean storm. For the Carolina storm. Does it end up making landfall? I mean, it's just too early to tell, but the ensemble support at least would make you think that it's going to be in that ballpark, right? And then after that, so there's a couple of ensembles doing stuff in the Gulf. And then more recurvatures, right? Let's go to the very beginning and let's switch over to the Canadian. I'm just curious. Let me go here just to show all of the members. And there's the Canadian ensemble members in the Caribbean. A couple of ensemble members showing Texas. So very cool. We're kind of in line there. And then definitely have a wide spread. So the Canadian spreads. So it knows by like a week from today, there's going to be something around, but it has no idea exactly where. I mean, if you look, the ensemble members are pretty well spread. I mean, this is, I think, a better way to visualize when there's a bunch. But it does look like out of everything that's there, most of them are east of us. There are some that are west, but most are east. And the Canadian definitely wants to keep it a little more close to the United States. So there you go. The ensembles still tell the story, which is that forecast confidence is low, but it does look like they're trying to show more of an East Coast United States or off the shoreline. So interesting stuff. Any questions about the tropics? at all. I know that you guys have been yentering it up in the comments, and I do apologize that I've been in analysis mode, so I haven't been able to look. When Alfie said Campeche. I mean, potato, Campeche, Campeche. Any other questions? Any other questions, comments, concerns? What's going on in California? Yes. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot to talk about Hilary. Hilary, a wicked little hurricane. This is a category. Oh, hold on, I gotta change. Hold on. Sorry, my bad. This is a category 4 storm, Hurricane Hilary. Really healthy looking thing, kind of working toward the Baja California. Winds are at 130 miles an hour. Forecast from the National Hurricane Center does bring it northbound, and not only northbound, but like Sunday into Monday, a tropical storm over Southern California, including Los Angeles. What? That's wicked weird. You don't get that very often. Yeah. Yukon, I'm a Floridian. I say it Campeche. So did John Hope and Dave Marsh. Well, are you trying to say that I'm wrong? Let's look at the pronunciation. If I can find the pronunciation. What do you want me to do? Sonia de Campeche. Well, I can't find the pronunciation. John Hope and Dave Marsh. I'm trying to throw in a little Latin flair. No matter how it's said, we still drink, right? And it's more fun to say Campeche. Campeche or Campeche? Bay of Campeche or Bay of Campeche? Me too. Somebody just said Dave Marsh. Dave Marsh said it differently. I grew up watching Dave too. I just have more fun saying Campeche. Bon provecho. All right, that's all I got. Too early anyway. It's pronounced Smith, Kevin says. Yeah, that's funny. I like that. The important pronunciation is caffeine. Yes. So getting back to Hilary, and then I'm going to have to go here in a second. Getting back to Hilary, flash flooding and tropical storm conditions likely for Southern California. So flooding a big concern. Like, they struggle with any rain in Southern California. So obviously that's a big concern. Taylor says white kid pronunciation. I married a Latin girl. Like, there, you got to throw in a little ra every now and then. All right. All right. Any questions, comments, concerns? Why are the invests numbered in the 90s? It's just a database thing. Keep them in the 90s. All the named storms are going to be ALO1, ALO2, ALO3, ALO4, all that fun stuff. All right. Vegas is going to get some rain. Yeah, flooding is a big concern. Campeche, says John. All right, I'm going to go do some TV, and I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Sound good? Sound good? Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you so much, Yukon. I'm teasing you, and you know I love you. Be good. Have a great day.